Hi, boys and girls. Well, last week in your packet before Thanksgiving, you got some materials for a game we're going to do this week. So in your packet, you should have gotten a game board that looks like this and a spinner that looks like this, or it might have been on white. Anyway, this is Thanksgiving Chutes and Ladders. Have any of you ever played Chutes and Ladders before? I like Chutes and Ladders. In this game, I printed off for all of you a game board because I just learned recently that if you're working on a Chromebook, you don't have any way of printing. And so that makes some of these things that I've been posting tough, so my apologies. So you have now received a game board and a spinner in case you don't have any dice at home. So these are all you need for the game today. And the activities are all on here and they can all be done inside because I know our rainy season is here. So in this game, first of all, if your spinner, if you take and lay it flat on the table and then you gently grab the little centerpiece, which is called a brad, and you gently lift it up without tearing your board, that will help so that the paper clip will spin a little better. So now it should spin just fine, okay? You will need to find something at home for your little move markers to move on the board. So you could get coins, you could go find some Legos, you could get little pieces of paper if that's all you could find, but just something to mark who's who. And hopefully somebody at your house will play this game with you, okay? The directions are at the very, very top. It tells you that you need to do the exercise 15 times, or if it's a stretch of some sort, you need to hold it for 15 seconds. And then if you land on a turkey, which there are quite a few turkeys on this board, it's a free space. You can do whichever exercise you want to do. So it's your free choice. All right? And then there are a few arrows on this, just like Chutes and Ladders. So if you land on one that takes you up, yay. If you land on one that takes you down, oh darn. Okay, so you'll lay it down, you'll give it a spin, and then you move how many times the spinner spins. So on mine, I would move 2. Oh, I moved it now, but it was 2. You go 1, 2 from the start. So I would put my marker on the second little spot, and that says that I need to do high knees. So you would get up and do high knees. You can do them standing and walking like this, or you can run in place and do them the right way, or the harder way. All right, then the next person would spin and they would go, and you would continue playing until somebody wins Chutes and Ladders. All right, so it's just a fun exercising kind of a game, especially after our nice long week of Thanksgiving, and we need to get up and exercise a little bit. So that's the first game. The next activity I'm going to do, we're going to kind of start talking about our heart rate. And I know when you're in PE class, we're able to do this, but the way that you're going to take your heart rate, because I don't have my little heart rate monitors like we do when you're in PE. So I've taught you this, you're third graders maybe not. You take 2 fingers and you can either find it on your wrist or you can find it on your neck. If you go on your wrist, you're going to go right over under your thumb a little bit in the wrist area, and you're going to just kind of press till you can find your heart rate. I have a hard time finding it on my wrist, but I can do it on my neck pretty well. So you take the 2 fingers, you go slightly in front of your ear and down, right under your chin bone, press slightly, hold real still, and you should be able to find it, okay? Now, when you're counting, you can't talk and count at the same time. And there's a couple ways to count your heart rate. If you count for the whole 60 seconds, you would watch a clock or time yourself. I think some of your Chromebooks have a timer. You can time yourself for 60 full seconds, and that would give you a pretty true heart rate for how you did, okay? You could also make it a little quicker by doing it for 30 seconds. So set your timer for 30 seconds or watch a clock. Count for 30 seconds how many times you feel it beat. Okay? And after that, you would take that number. Let's say I got oh, I don't know, let's say I was exercising and I got 65, okay, for 30 seconds. So that 65 is only for 30 seconds, so we would either need to multiply it by 2, so times 2, or you can also do 65 plus 65. That's the same thing as multiplying by 2, okay? So you can multiply times 2, or you can go 65 plus 65. All right? And what would that give us? That would give us 130. So if you did this and counted for the whole 60 seconds, you would come close to the 130. Or you can do it for 30 seconds and multiply it by 2, or add it plus itself, okay? In PE, we do it even a quicker way, which isn't a real accurate way, but if we're running around and I want you to take your heart rate, I have you find it, and then I time you for 6 seconds. So if you timed it for 6 seconds and you got 13, well, 6 seconds, if you multiply 6 times 10, that gives us 60 seconds, right? So if I got 13 beats, in just 6 seconds, I would need to multiply that by 10, wouldn't I? Which is simple enough in PE, I just have you add a 0. So if we were doing it the quick way, it's not the most accurate way, but I would time you for 6 seconds, you would count. If you got 13, you add a 0 onto the end of it, because that would be like multiplying it by 10, and that would give you 130 beats per minute, okay? That's the shortcut way. So at home, you figure out whether you're gonna do it by which method you wanna do. The whole minute counting, half of a minute counting, or do it for 6 seconds and multiply it by 10. But what I want you to do is I'm going to post some activities on Google Classroom, or it's not activities, I'm sorry, excuse me. It's a YouTube video, and it's called line jumping. It starts pretty simple, and some of you may think, I don't want to do this. This seems really easy. Well, guess what? It gets harder as it goes on. So I want you to continue to watch the rest of the video, and after each time you jump, I want you to take your heart rate, okay? I want to see if you can raise it up. So a good thing to do is to take it while you're just sitting. It shouldn't be very high. We talk about that in PE too. But once you start playing and we take our heart rate, either way, with the machine or this way, you start to notice that your heart rate goes up, which means you're exercising, okay? And we want to keep your heart rate up to stay healthy. And here at school, I have the 5 levels posted, and we look at those sometimes and talk about them. And maybe next lesson, I will have you look at the 5 levels, and we'll talk about those a little bit more. All right, have a great day. Have fun doing the jump rope challenge, or not jump rope, I'm sorry, the line jump challenge. And remember, it starts easy, but don't give up, because it does get much more difficult. And I do want you to practice finding that heart rate and taking your heart rate either for 60 seconds, 30 seconds, or 6 seconds. And remember, if it's 30 seconds, you have to multiply it by 2 or add it plus itself. And if it's for 6 seconds, you have to multiply it by 10, or you can just add a 0 to the number you get, because that would be the same as multiplying it by 10. All right, have a great day, you guys. Have fun jumping.